what are some of your favorite TV shows or movies that are kind of related to game? So, for example, one of my favorites is, of course, How I Met Your Mother. It gets a lot of hate because of the ending, but I think the ending is actually beautiful because it's realistic.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. I sat through all seasons of How I Met Your Mother, so I've been entertained by Barney Stinson. Uh, I love that man. I just love him. He's a
Bro, you're
lovable
both
bro.
gently to the bar. Hit on, do 10 shots, then hit
Ah.
on sluts or something like that. And then slam the
Well,
door in his face.
he was just a complicated character and is a very lovable man. Aside from Barney Stinson and his show, How I Met Your Mother, there was Mixology. Have you seen it? A
No.
Ryan Seacrest production. Ryan Seacrest executive produced this show, Mixology, and it is great. In fact, two of the characters, they do mention negging. They neg me by mentioning negging. You'll have to see it to understand that. But it's about one night of pickup. Four guys and four girls. Who ends up with who? That's the big question, right? Excellent production. You will love Mixology. Two of the characters are, I believe, based on characters in the seduction community. One is Owen Cook. They hired a redhead. He was a redheaded guy, who is very much like Owen Cook, except without the beard. And also Baxter. There was a character named Ron, and he comes off very much like Baxter. So either way, the writers definitely were in the know about the community at the time because they mentioned negging. So great show. You'll absolutely love it. If you're into pickup, you're gonna love this show.
I've got two movies that come to mind. So there's the classic movie Fight Club, right? That's probably the most
No doubt.
revered movie in the pickup community because it's all about creating an alter ego and stepping into those shoes, right? There's another movie that I watched from 2012, and for some reason I couldn't help but feel like whoever made this movie was into game, and it's called Chronicle, and it's about these boys, these teens, maybe young men. They find a meteor or a rock of some sort, an alien rock, and they touch it and they get these magical powers, and they go off and they're using these magical powers. But one of the friends gets just consumed by it. He realizes he can build this superpower like a muscle. So he's just constantly exercising it. And at one point, he has a car levitating off the ground with the power of his mind, and he's going like this with his hand, and he's making it rise up and down, and he just took this to just a crazy level. But anyway, I could attach game to everything. I could watch a show and I filter my entire experience through the game. It's just a part of who I am. I'm one of the
Yeah.
weirdos, you know?
No, no, you can do that with any video because technically they're all actors and you're all thinking about the motivations of what are making them do weird things uh on camera for a laugh, right? Like no matter what the scene is, there's always actual social dynamics, where you can look at this scene and go, man, he's hating this right now. The actor is hating doing this scene right now. I can tell. There's always something to inference. You know,
Mm.
that's what keeps it fun. I like watching shows, because a lot of them get it right. Like mixology gets social dynamics really right. They really captured the moment. And one of the things that mixology captured which is really true in our game, in pickup, in cold approach, is that half of the energy comes from the women we meet. It's not a lonely thing. gaming is not lonely. If you're lonely and you're gaming, you're doing it wrong. You're alone on the street, aren't you? Waiting for the next lonely set to walk by, and it takes you 20 minutes to find her, someone worthy of approaching. And then you do the bullshit you did on the last set to lose it. The same thing with no change, no science, no experiment, you know? It's maybe you're done with that. If you're into day game, maybe it's time to learn some night game. Come out with me. Come out with Ablaze and I, and we'll teach a night game, how to do it proper,
I've
all the
got
way up to circle game.
I've got one more for you, and I may receive a little backlash for this one, but I watched all seasons, including the new seasons of the show The Hills. So when I was in high school, this was one of the most popular shows of all time with women, right? Uh, if you watch that show, there are nuances to the game. You have to read between the lines a bit, right? You have Brody Jenner, who's kind of your stereotypical cool guy, jock, right? You have Justin Bobby, who's a little bit of the rebel, and he uses silence and he uses takeaways. There's so many little subtleties that take place. There's moments where the camera just flashes back and forth between the faces, you know? But if you watch that show through the lens of pickup and game, there's a lot to be gleaned. Social circle game, body language, natural game. There are hidden details in the show The Hills.
Good
I'll throw
production.
in
They capture good dynamics. Cool.
I'll throw in 2.5 Men. That's always a classic. Charlie Harper, Charlie
Of
Sheen.
course. Of course. I
Let me
went
just
to
can I just clarify something really quick? I was
uh,
with an ex-girlfriend who watched the show The Hills, so I was dragged into watching it several times. I didn't watch it on my own volition, but once I was hooked, even after her and I broke up, I continued to watch the show on my own, for my own education, and I was applying it to game. That's why I watched it. I wasn't really interested in it beyond that. It was more, how can I apply this to my game? Forgive me.
Mhm.
yeah, bringing up Charlie Sheen. He did an evening with Charlie Sheen in Stockholm, Sweden. And I went to see it wasn't a show, it was just an evening with Charlie Sheen sitting on a couch, or on a chair rather, a love seat on stage with an interviewer, and it was excellent. It was another reason for a crowd to celebrate humanity and get together and celebrate this man, and some of the questions were hard hitting and personal, and we got to know him better, right?
Mhm.
Well, that convinced me to do a meet mystery event. So I did an evening with mystery.
Mhm.
Did it in Tel Aviv, got well over 100 people into that room. Did it in just did it several times, an evening with mystery. And that was thanks to Charlie Sheen running his tour. We didn't need to do anything other than get me and a microphone in my hand in front of an audience, because I've got some good information that in a short amount of time can, at the very least, inspire you to game again.
Hell yeah.